Prismatic Evolutions is finally here, and prices for this set are absolutely ridiculous. Today we're going to be looking at the prices for some of the best cards in Prismatic Evolutions. For this video, we will just be looking at the Full Arts, Golds, and SIRs. We will save the Master and Pokeballs for another video. I'm going to be telling you which ones I think will continue this insane price range, or which ones will actually kind of fall down back to earth. And with all that being said, with these prices being insane and Prismatic Evolutions almost impossible to get, I had the solution for you guys with the sponsor of today's video. By now, we have all experienced missing out on Pokemon product restocks to purchasing bots or scalpers. And to be honest, right now, it's just not a lot of fun opening and collecting Pokemon cards. The good news is that we can bring that fun back and level the playing field with the sponsor of today's video, PokeNotify. This exclusive Discord community alerts you when Pokemon restocks and drops occur by monitoring hundreds of sites 24/7 all across the globe. And today, you can join the Discord for free for a 3-day trial and get 25% off of your first month by using the code FACTORY25 at checkout. Stop going in solo against the bots and the scalpers. Take advantage of this great tool and save you a ton of money and avoid the frustration. All links needed is in the description below. Alright peeps, we're on Pokelector because I wanted you guys to get a better visual, and it's going to be using TCG player prices or eBay prices as this one does here. And this full art is the first one we're looking at, is coming in at $4.49. Honestly, we opened the set, I guess when this comes out it'll be 2 nights ago, and we pulled the crap out of these things, so I expect this thing to probably come down some. It just seemed like this was what was being pulled more than anything, all these full art trainers. This trainer's coming in at $5.26, so pretty respectable. Again, like I said, I think these are going to come down. There was a few that we only pulled once or we didn't pull at all. This was one that we did not pull at all, so maybe this one holds around this value. So for this one, it's the same person, just different disguise. We pulled them quite a bit, honestly, and this one's coming in at $3, so that makes a lot more sense. The only reason these cards would stay at these values that they're at now is just because of how hard it is to get Prismatic right now. But other than that, I mean, I would expect this is a $1 card. Now we have this guy. We did pull him a few times, and he's coming in at $4.75, so it's, you know, it's a respectable card. Again, though, I mean, this is $2 card in my opinion. Now we only pulled one of these, and this one's coming in at $6. This is the Eerie full art, and honestly this one could probably stay around the $4 to $5 range, so you know, not that bad. If you're mastering the set, I would probably hold off on these for a little bit, because I think the more people are going to open, the lower these things are going to go. So now we have the Friends in Paldea, which is, you know, that was a really nice card that came out in Crown Zenith when it had the Friends of Sinnoh and stuff like that. This card is coming in at $7 from eBay. It doesn't have a TCG player yet. I think this card actually probably is going to hold around that value. It could even push $10, you know, the harder this set becomes to get, until we get that reprint in the coming months. I mean, this thing, we didn't pull it at all last night. It's a really nice card. People really dig this style of cards, so it could hover around $10 for sure. Now we have the Giacomo, and this one did get pulled quite a bit, and that is why this thing is $1.64. That one makes perfect sense. Honestly, it might end up being 64 cents by the time it's all said and done. Larry Skill, this is one that we did not pull, is coming in at $5.91, so you know, it could hover around the $3 to $4 range, but I wouldn't be surprised if it drops back down to about $2 or even $1. Like I said, the full arts aren't hard to pull at all. If you're opening enough of it, you're gonna pull all of them, I would say, pretty easily. This is the Mela, and she's coming in at $10.80 from TCG Player. This one is one that we did not pull, and I honestly, like I said, I mean, most of these trainers are gonna be more in the $2 to $3 to $1 range. This one I could see floating around the $6, $7 range. So this is the Ortega full art, and it's coming in at $6.80. Like I said, I would expect take $2, $3 off of that, and that's probably where you're gonna be at, unless Prismatic maybe next week, and when it's like you can't get any. Like, it's just same thing as release week, and it very well could be, but you never know. So the Raffort is one of the cards that we pulled the most of last night, and it's coming in at $8.11. It's a little surprising, but then again, maybe we just got, you know, a little batching going on our end, but you never know. This thing, honestly, I like the colors and everything of this. Who knows? I mean, probably $5, $6 card. This should be the last full art that we're looking at. We had to get rid of all the junk before we can actually get to the spicy stuff. This is Time, coming in at $1.97. This one makes a lot of sense. We pulled this one quite a bit too, so I understand why this one's $1.97. Makes a lot of sense. Probably gonna be more like 97 cents when it's all said and done. Now we're on to a spicy one. This is the Leafeon SIR, and it's coming in at $489 on TCG Player. That's pretty crazy. Honestly, when I checked it yesterday, it was actually floating around 700, so it's came down quite a bit. I've only seen one person pull this, so you know, Honestly, it looks a lot better in English than it does Japanese, like the actual artwork. So I don't know, like in Japanese it's a lot more sparkly. On this one I feel like you can see the artwork a lot better. This one's pretty good, honestly. This was probably gonna be a high flyer if I had the thing. I mean, there's no way these cards hold this value, right? Like the Leafeon, maybe because it's a Leafeon. I just don't see it holding these values. I mean, this is crazy. There's literally, like, out of the 41 cards we're looking at today, I think 25 of them or so are over $100 and like 15 are over 200. I mean, it's just, I don't see it sustaining that, but maybe it does. Maybe it does. So we have the Teal Mask Ogerpon SIR, and this one's coming in at 50 bucks from eBay. It doesn't have a TCG player. This card right here reminds me a lot of a card that would come from Crown Zenith. That's why I think if Prismatic wasn't what it was right now, or what it is right now, being hard to get, I think this card would be like a $6 or $7 card, but you know, we're in this crazy stuff. And now we have the Flareon SIR coming in at $325 from TCG Player, so that's pretty interesting. I expected the drop, but I don't know. We got to, honestly, you got to think of these prices we're looking at right now. Think of it as the pre-release prices, because we didn't really get them last week. We didn't have prices for this thing. So this week, I feel like is the pre-release. Next week, I think we'll have a lot more clarity of where these cards are going. So now we have the Celarooch EX SIR, and honestly, if I'm being honest, this is one of my favorite cards from the set. It's coming in at $225 off of eBay. Like I said, if the set just continues to go where it's going, this price is gonna stick for sure. But in realistic, it should be about an $80 to $90 card. Probably will never see that, not for a long time anyway. And now we have the Heart Flame Mask Ogerpon EX. It's coming in at $57.50. Again, this is one that I just don't think should be that high, but then again, SIRs are pretty hard to pull, so I did compare the Crown Zenith, but it doesn't have the pull rates of Crown Zenith. It has pull rates more of Shrouded Fable or Evolving Skies even, so maybe that's what makes these values stick. But then again, in any other set, this thing is a $6 to $7, maybe even $8 card. And now we have the Vaporeon EX SIR, and this thing is pretty nice, if I must say. It's coming in at $394 from TCG Player, so that's pretty solid, honestly. Again, you know, the Flareon was $325, this one's $394. I think this one should be around the $150 to $250 range, but once again, I don't know if it's going to hit that, especially anytime soon with all the craze around this. We could see this thing, you know, push even more. And now we have the Glaceon EX SIR coming in at $320 from TCG Player. And this thing, again, you know, once you see these, like you see the cards with the better rendering, and even on Japanese, I feel like it kind of did it a disservice, honestly, because on the Japanese, the holo like takes over the card so much. When you look at it like this, man, these cards are actually really nice. Like, the artwork is really solid. I don't think it's worth $320, but I mean, again, what's it really matter, I guess? People's paying it. And now we have the Palafin EX SIR, and it's coming in at $90 from eBay, and this one is actually card number 151, so that's interesting. This thing is, I mean, it's a nice looking card. I'll give it that. Definitely a nice looking card. I don't know if I would ever pay $90 for this card, but you know. So for me, it reminds me of the Darkrai, like that tier of a card. So for me, I think this card is probably only worth like 15, 17 bucks, but you know, again, it'll probably never hit that. Now we have the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon EX, and it's coming in at $48 from TCG Player. Again, the Ogerpons is going to be the redheaded stepchilds of this set. If we pull them, we're gonna be like, hey, we got an SIR. If you don't pull them, I don't think most people will really care unless you're trying to do a master set, which good luck. $6, $7 card is what this thing should be, really, honestly. Now we have the Jolteon SIR coming in at $305 from eBay. So this one doesn't have a TCG Player yet. That's interesting. Obviously, that, I mean, right now that fits in, but again, man, I mean, this thing should be 100, 150 probably. I mean, I just don't see the $300 price range. If you're buying these prices, let me know. I'm genuinely curious. I want to know who's buying these cards at these prices. I really do. And now we have the Iron Hands EX SIR, and this one, honestly, it's a fire card. I'm not gonna lie. It's coming in at $48.96. Again, to me, this is like a Darkrai from Crown Zenith tier level card. $15, $17 at the most, but right now it's, oh, you know, almost 50 bucks. So we have the Espeon SIR, and it doesn't even have a price right now. But if I had to guess, honestly, with how much this card, how popular this Pokemon is, how relatively hard it seems to pull these things are, I mean, honestly, this thing's probably $500, $600 easy. So now we have the Sylveon EX SIR. It's one of my favorite evolutions in the set so far, for sure. It is coming in at $708.70. I mean, $700 is insane. I mean, that is crazy. I mean, it took the Umbreon from Evolving Skies a long time to break past like 550, and this thing's starting out over 700. So that's kind of insane. For me, I think this thing is more around the range of what the Evolving Skies Sylveon is, but hey, I mean, again, if you're paying this, please let me know. I want to know. I want to see who you are that's paying this. Now we have the Iron Valiant EX, and I actually love this card, dude. This is one of my favorite cards in the set for sure. It's coming in at $135 from TCG Player, which that one's a lot more respectable. Again, though, I mean, to me, this is more in the tier of $30 to $35 card, and I don't even know if it's there, honestly. Maybe more 25, 30. But hey, 135, make your money, boo-boo. Now I have the Iron Crown EX, and again, this thing is fire. I know all the evolutions are gonna get all the love from this set, but man, the more that I've actually got to look at these other SIRs, they are really nice. This thing's sick looking. This thing's coming in at $100 pretty much on TCG Player. Again, to me, this is probably in the $20 to $25 range if this was like a normal set, but hey, it's not. It's $100, so let's see where it goes. And now we have these Sandy Shocks EX SIRs coming in at $42.45 from TCG Player. That's, you know, honestly, that's not that bad. With that being that low, I think this card's probably, you know, if it was a normal set, they'd probably take away the 4 and, you know, it'd be a $2.45 card. I just don't think people are very interested in Sandy Shocks. I like the other SIR we got earlier in the era way more than this one. This one is nice. It's not a bad card, but I just don't think people are gonna flock to it. And now we have the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX, another Ogerpon. This one's worth $100, which, holy crap, that's kind of crazy. I didn't see that one coming, honestly. I mean, whew, I mean, this thing should have been more. I mean, at $100, if you kind of, you know, just kind of guesstimate, this thing's probably around a $20 card if it's going to be about that, but I don't know. Who knows how much it could really be, but $98 for this. That's crazy. And now we got the big boy coming in at $1,700 from eBay. I mean, that is honestly just one of the craziest things. Sorry, I had something in my eye. That is just, it's unbelievable. I will say, this thing is fire, crazy fire, but $1,700. That is wild, man. And that's average recent sales. So people are selling this thing. I want to know who's buying this thing for $1,700. It's a beautiful card, but $1,700, good Lord. I mean, it's just, whew. Make your money, boo-boo. That's all I'm gonna say. This one surprised me more than any. The Roaring Moon at $260 was very interesting to me. I love this artwork. Again, the non-evolution Pokemon are killing it. But I didn't think that people were gonna be paying $260 for this card. That's insane. To me, this is more around the $80, $90 mark, but hey, $260 for this thing? That was really impressive to me. I did not see this one coming. Now we got this thing coming in at $45 pretty much from TCG Player. I do like the coloring on this card, but $45, again, this is probably, in a normal set, it's probably a $5 card. Now we have the Goldingo EX, and again, it's coming in at $61.20 from eBay. I mean, this is $6, $7 card to me, but hey, you know, it is what it is. I do like to Make It Rain and him, you know, killing it, shredding it on his gold board, I guess, but I don't know, man. $60. You paying $60 for this thing? I'm not. So this one is very interesting. I was looking forward to this one too. So the Dragapult is $150 from eBay. That one's pretty interesting because I thought that this one could be around the $60 to $80 range. And the fact that it's coming in at $150 right now is pretty impressive. I know a lot of people like this card. I personally love this card. I really like the coloring they did with it. I think it looks fantastic. I like the Dragapult Pokemons. I don't know, man. Maybe this thing sticks around at this price, especially with the way things are. And now we have the Raging Bolt EX, and just like its counterpart from Temporal Forces, this thing is also sitting at $99.99, so that's pretty impressive. Again, though, to me, I do like the artwork. The artwork is crazy. But I mean, this thing is probably a $25 to $30 card in a normal set, but here we are. I expected big things from this one, and I mean, it's at $150, but hey, you know, this one's pretty decent here. The Eevee SIR, that's a TCG Player too. It looks like people are buying it for $215 on eBay, so I mean, that's kind of crazy too. People's buying it at $215. Even with how crazy everything's been, the price on this one still surprises me. $93.78 for the Blood Moon. I mean, it's a nice card. It looks great, but $93. People are actually buying this. This is crazy. So I cannot believe that. I mean, good for them, but again, to me, $10 card, $15 card maybe. I know this Pokemon has some popularity, but still. We have the Terapagos EX. This is another non-evolution SIR that I absolutely love. I love this card. I love the coloring in it and everything, and it's coming in at $100 even from TCG Player. As much as I love this card, I just don't see how this thing's a $100 card. Maybe it'll stay this way because of how crazy everything is, but like I've been saying, in a real set, this thing is probably in the $20 to $35 range. It is a popular Pokemon with the new show and everything, but still, man, I mean, 100 bucks. I mean, it could have been way worse, I guess. Now we have the SIR trainers, and this one's coming in at 55 bucks from TCG Player. Again, I don't see how this thing's worth more than 15 bucks, but you know, here we are. I do like that it seems like most of the SIR trainers have like a pattern. You know, the artwork is all very similar. This one's coming in at $120 for the Crispin, which is absolutely insane. Drayton SIR, again, with the kind of the coloring border and the same style artwork, is continuing that pattern. But this one's 5 bucks. This card makes the most sense out of any card we've looked at so far. 5 bucks. That one makes sense. And now we have Janine's Foot Fetish, and it's coming in at $54.66. We actually pulled this one the other night. This one could have a Carmine type feel to it, or even a Jasmine's Gaze. This one could probably hover around this price. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But also, it kind of reminds me of the one dude from Crown Zenith reaching for a pair, and I think it's worth like 18 bucks, so who knows. Now we have the Kieran SIR. I'm actually surprised this one's not more. This one's 45 bucks from eBay, so you know, it's probably gonna finish around probably 25, 30, especially if we're using a normal set. But this card's actually pretty nice. I mean, I like how everything is. You can see Carmine to his left, or maybe that's his right, I think. I don't know, I can't really tell in the picture, but that's definitely Carmine for sure, so maybe that's got a little pull. And now we have Lacey, and Lacey's become quite a popular little trainer here recently. This one is, again, following that whole trend again. It kind of reminds me of the Miriam, like the artwork from the Miriam a little bit from Scarlet and Violet base. It's coming in at 100 bucks, so that's interesting. Again, I just don't see how this is more than a $10, $12 card. But again, it's so hard to pull and you can't get done, so you know, supply and demand, I guess. So now we're looking at the golds for this set, and I just want to put this out there. I think these golds are going to really hold their value because they're really hard to pull. They're actually really nice cards. I think that they are going to hold their value. So these things are really hard to pull. The Iron Leaves is coming in at $17.25. Again, I think that is very respectable. I think that's where this card probably should be, relatively to pretty much how impossible it is to pull this thing. The Gold Tilmask Ogerpon, again, $32. I think that is very respectable for this card. I think this card is harder to pull than most of the SIRs, so I think 32 bucks is perfect, honestly. Now we have the Walking Wake coming in at 40 bucks from TCG Player. For me, this is a tad too high. I think it should be more closer to the Ogerpon, or maybe in between the Ogerpon and the Iron Leaves. But you know, it is what it is. Still not crazy terrible though. Now we got the big boy gold, the all gold Pikachu, which this thing is really nice. We pulled it the other night, and this thing is crazy. It's coming at $325. I think that's a tad too high for a gold Pikachu. I think that the price of the gold Pikachu from Surgeon Sparks, I wouldn't be mad at that price range. But $325 for this thing, I don't know. Maybe it's just incredibly hard to pull. We did pull one the other night. Pretty hyped about it. It is a fantastic card. It looks amazing. These golds are sick. If you haven't pulled one yet, you're in for a treat when you do, because they're really nice. And now we have the gold Terapagos coming in at 5 bucks. That is just downright disrespectful. Maybe people think it's the promo from the Terapagos UPC. The $65 makes way more sense. That's so disrespectful to Terapagos for 5 bucks. 5 bucks for this card is crazy, bro. I mean, if they're selling it for 5 bucks, again, I think it's the promo from the Terapagos UPC. I think the $65 is more for this one. The 65 makes way more sense. The 5, like I said, I'd be wary of that because I think that's the promo from Terapagos. People are just getting mixed up. Guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will look at the other Master Balls and Pokeballs in another video. We'll probably have to split it up in a couple videos because there's just so many. But let me know down below if that's something you'd like to, you know, take a look at. Remember, guys, with sets like this and pretty much going forward, you want to try to beat the scalpers and the bots, and you need all the tools possible. So definitely check out Poke Notify. Remember, Factory 25 gets you 25% off your first month at $8 a month. This thing pays for itself with one purchase. It's pretty worth it. Also, if you're just trying to have a good time, you want to have fun with the DGens, check out our own personal Discord. It's a great time in there. The DGens are the best DGens on the internet. And remember, PokeFactoryShop.com for all your rip and ship needs. We do things a little bit different here. Hashtag make Pokemon great again. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Poke Factory out. Peace.